Next we come to page 86, where we will learn now the products of electrolysis. So in products of electrolysis, we have to understand the mechanism of electrolysis, and we have to see what we have to put in our electrolytic tank, electrodes and so on. So we see that electrolysis depends on, the products of electrolysis depend on, number one, what you are taking as your electrolyte. That means the nature of your electrolyte. It also depends on the nature of your electrodes. The electrodes might either be reactive or inert. In that case, the products are different. Now, whether any oxidizing or reducing agents are present there in the electrolyte or not, that is also important for you to note it down before starting the electrolysis. Because you may start your electrolytical setup and you may find you want to get these products, but you are getting something else. The reason is because you did not check the nature of the electrolyte, nature of the electrodes and oxidizing and reducing agents, and also you have to check whether the reaction is slow or not once you have started the electrolysis. So if electrolysis is kinetically slower, then you have to apply an extra potential, which is called over potential, which you have to supply more in order to carry out electrolysis. Now, how these matter for us? We are going to take an example. We are going to take aqueous sodium chloride as our electrolyte in one tank, and in the other tank we are going to take sodium chloride, but not aqueous solution, simply being molten. So we will see that the products are going to be different. Now, if we take sodium chloride aqueous, then there are two things in the solution, NaCl and water. So NaCl will break up into Na plus and Cl minus, and water will also break up into H plus and OH minus. So that means we are having two cations and two anions competing to go either towards the anode or towards the cathode. Now let us see who wins. If we see Cl minus and OH minus, it is Cl minus which wins to go towards the anode. What is the reason for this? Cl minus being the smaller anion as compared to OH minus. So Cl minus will reach there, OH minus will remain back in the solution. So Cl minus will give out one electron, become Cl. Two of them together will give you a Cl each, and they will combine to form Cl2 gas. So at the anode we are getting Cl2 gas. Now what happens at the cathode? At the cathode also there are two competing cations. You have Na plus and H plus. Again, between Na plus and H plus is the smaller cation. So always the smaller one wins. H plus being smaller will win and Cl minus being smaller will win. The other one will remain in the solution. So H plus will give you H, another H plus will give you H. So these two will combine to give you H2. So why are they forming 2,2? Because chlorine cannot exist as atomic chlorine. It can exist as a gas. So that's why you require 2,2 to form chlorine, 2,2 to form hydrogen. So at the anode then chlorine gas is liberated, and at the cathode hydrogen gas is liberated. So what remains back in the solution? Na plus and OH minus. So these two are going to combine and form NaOH. So when we do the electrolysis of NaCl aqueous, what are the products? We get NaOH, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas. So let us see if there is anything different when we take molten sodium chloride. Molten sodium chloride means there is no water. So NaCl alone will dissociate to give you Na plus and Cl minus. So at the anode there is no competition. Cl minus exactly in the same way will give you Cl2. But at the cathode you will find it is Na plus which will give you sodium solid. So products in the case of molten sodium are different. It is solid sodium and chlorine gas. So I think that's why we have to understand what it depends on. If it depends on all these factors, you can see that the nature of the products are different. This simple example is highlighting to you how different kinds of products can be formed. Here you get sodium solid and chlorine, but here you get NaOH, Cl2 and hydrogen. If you don't take care of all these factors, then you may not know what products you are going to get at the end of your electrolysis. You may think you may want to get this and this, but you have started off with aqueous sodium chloride, so instead of getting solid sodium and chlorine gas, you have now NaOH, Cl2 and H2. And suppose you have taken molten sodium chloride and are expecting these products, then you don't get them, you get only chlorine. If you only take aqueous solution, then only you get these products. So that's why what it depends on the products of electrolysis are all these factors, and this you will find decides for you what will be the products of electrolysis.